Trades Podcast, a podcast about the business of home improvement and promoting the trades to young adults. In this podcast, we talk with business owners, educators, and professionals about the benefits, skills, and related experiences of the home improvement business. Tips to help you with being successful from entry into the trades or established business owners. In this podcast, we hope to influence some young adults that the trades as a career is a great option leading to full and prosperous life. I'm Danny Torres, an MC, DJ, and podcaster, inspiring young adults by shining light onto career opportunities in our world today.
And I'm Jeff Mudd, home improvement contractor, writer of the Millionaire Carpenter series, and podcaster.
Stay tuned to 15 to 20 minutes of insightful tips. All right, here we are. What a wonderful day that it is. Welcome here. We're talking here on the Trades Podcast. I'm DJ Danny.
And I'm Jeff Mudd.
And I'm Bob Soul.
All right. Well, Bob, I'm going to jump right in and say our guest today is Bob Soul, Express Blinds and More. And Bob's, I'd love to give him a bio and a great introduction, but he's such a dynamic buddy. I've known him for over 10 years. You've got to hear it from him, straight from the mouth. Bob, take it away.
Thank you, Jeff. Again, I'm Bob Soul. I'm the owner of Express Blinds and More, Inc. here in San Diego. Been in the industry for 39 years. It'll be 40 years in July. Very proud of that.
And you don't look like he's that old.
I know, right? I started when I was 9 years old.
Something like that.
Anyways, I grew up in the business. My dad had a manufacturing facility for window coverings that had been around since 1932. And I know our topic of the day are trades and trying to get installers or people that work in the trades working for you. And it's tough. I knew growing up in the business that my dad made us install in the old Sephora. We installed every window covering that we ever sold, and that's how we learned the business. And as we grew by leaps and bounds, nowhere near the size of Jeff's company, but I've had up to 18 employees at one point in time, 4 installers, 7 decorators, whole office staff, and what have you. And I know for a fact that an installer is the last impression of your company, and an installer can make or break your business. So they definitely leave a lasting impression. So anyways, make a long story short, I went to Long Beach State, again, grew up in this industry, ended up working for my dad. Then I was actually 5 years of working for my dad's facility. I was recruited and hired by Hunter Douglas. Hunter Douglas is the largest manufacturer in the world of window coverings. I ran the Riverside facility, did that for umpteen years, and then in 1991 they consolidated, and that's when I opened up Express Blinds in 1991. So on the retail end of it, 29 years, it'll be 30 years in July. Let's see here.
That's
I'm
good.
Certified installer for Hunter Douglas. I'm a master level shutter installer. I'm a Somfy motorized blind expert. I'm good, but my guys are better than me.
Yeah. So Bob has got a lot of experience behind him.
Yeah.
He's being pretty humble right now. But he brought up a couple points, and one of them is how he got into the business, working for his dad. And that used to be the way things were, you know. If your dad was a plumber, you grew up working in the family plumbing business. If you were a blacksmith, you know.
Right.
You were a blacksmith, you know, following your parents.
Yeah.
That's kind of changed now in this modern age. So it's still good to hear that. A lot of family businesses still follow that, but one of the things that we want to talk about in some of the episodes is how do you choose what trades are good for you?
Yeah.
It's a wide open world right now.
Yeah, and coming from the younger perspective, it's interesting to hear how that you would transition into that trades. Obviously from family, from having that experience, already seeing it in the family, and kind of just experiencing it, firsthand. I guess that's really interesting for me because, me never being in the trades before, maybe just working at Home Depot for a little bit, but when you say Hunter Douglas, that's a big name that I obviously heard, and being on that manufacturing side of things, it had to bring a lot of experience. So that's great to see how you transitioned into those different areas, but really stayed within that one certain trades industry, and you're able to really master that down. Yeah.
So let me ask you a couple questions about installers, Bob.
Sure.
So they got some skill sets that encompass several different areas. So they're using tape measures, lining things up, levels, just like carpenters. You know, those blinds got to be exactly perfect. People look at them. But you also have motorized shades and motorized blinds.
Yeah.
And those can all work with your phone apps now. You adjust the blinds when you're on vacation across the world. So there's a lot of technology that runs behind that. People are using the electronics when they're installing it, plus the customer service on teaching them how to use the app and all that. How do you think that's playing to a young adult that's just getting out of high school and looking at, am I qualified to be able to learn all that stuff?
That's a great question, Jeff. I know that our guys, I have four installers. Three of them have worked 25 years each in the industry, and one of my installers has been working for 40 plus years. And they're very experienced, but it's kind of an ongoing educational process, especially with the new motorization and new technology, Alexa, Google, not only your phone apps, but it's ongoing education. These guys have to go training, and and a lot of it's on the job training. You know, they have to learn as they go.
Right.
And they've become masters at their craft. And again, they're very good at what they do, but it doesn't come easy. They have to stay on top of it. There's new products, new technology coming out annually. They have to stay on top of it. So I'm very proud of my guys. They've done a tremendous job. I think that the younger generation, I would say that the younger generation are probably a little more techy than some of the older generation, you know, myself included. And I think they have a fine opportunity. And I'm not just talking blind shade shutters, draperies, manual or motorized or window coverings, but every industry. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for young people to get into the trades.
Absolutely. So one of the things that somebody in high school is looking at, which college I want to go to, how much is it going to cost, am I going to pass the grade, am I really a book person that's getting great grades or not and qualifying for it, and what's my education going to be? So the stigma of the trades is you don't qualify to go to college, you're not smart. But that's exactly not true. You're just different. So what Bob was talking about is continuing education. So your guys probably have a college education that they've gotten in bits and pieces. You know, you guys probably got bachelor's degrees in
And actually,
motorized shades.
Yeah, that's their school of hard knocks, yes.
Yeah, I mean, so you just need to break down how the education, and they've started off probably at the 19, 20-year-old age,
Yeah.
making a good living,
Yeah.
having some fun, not trying to pull a part-time job at McDonald's and going to college. They started off making a decent living, and now, because they put the extra effort into their continuing education, they've got great careers
Yes.
without the college debt.
Yes, and job security. I know in our industry, you know, installers, are qualified installers, are very hard to come by. And again, in part of our industry nationwide is if you're an installer, you can get a job anywhere, anywhere in the country. They're in high demand, and finding a good installer definitely hard to come by.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I feel like, you know, we had the traditional way of, I would say the generation at this time right now, transitioning from 18, getting out of high school, they're pressured into, you know, somewhat pressured, going into a 4-year college, trying to get their education, but also, like you said, you mentioned that working with a window coverings company, Express Blinds, say for instance, they can kind of transition into a position from their college, you know, education into the industry of the trades, obviously. What kind of resources would you say that you've seen through window coverings?
And that's a $1 million question.
Yeah.
And only for the simple fact that there were very few installation courses in our industry. They are starting to pop up, if you will. Like I actually have a good friend back in Boston who's very successful, and he actually built an installation school, different types of windows, and he discusses manual motorization and any type of difficult windows and situations that you might come up to. So again, there's probably a small handful of actually installation courses in our industry. Otherwise, it's on-the-job training. You know, you go, and you don't have to, you know, I know one of the conversations is for the young people today there's a lot of trades you can go to. I know that air conditioning, plumbing, you know, I mean, the list goes on, that they're starving and desperately looking for people to become part of their installation network. And I guess right now, most of it's on-the-job training.
Right.
A lot of it is. I want to take a minute to thank North San Diego Business Chamber of Commerce for letting us use their room for the recording. And
Yeah, great
Bob,
space.
we're really appreciative of that. And one of the things Bob's doing tomorrow is he's in a golf tournament supporting the plumbing trades. There's a school that is out there in the East County here in San Diego, and they've got a great program for training plumbers.
Yeah.
And he's taking time out of his busy life to go there, support it, have some fun, help raise some money to support that plumbing school. One of the other questions I had for you, Bob, was I want to preface it. We've known each other 10 years. We both have done different networking groups. We're founding members on a home improvement networking group that had a great run, met a lot of great people. So both of us have met hundreds of business owners that are just dying for employees right now. There's plenty of jobs out there, but if you're an employer, what's the like 3 basic things you're looking for? Somebody that's coming to you and it's like, I don't have any skills, but I want a job.
Some of our top priorities are reliability, dependability, punctuality, honesty and integrity, and of course the skill set will come to play. But those are some of the things that we most importantly look at. You know, we gotta be able to try. Again, they're the last impression of our company. We get so many Yelp reviews about our installers doing a fine job, and we're proud of each and every one of them.
Absolutely, I've seen some of your reviews. They're great. Yeah. So what Bob's talking about is the soft skills, you know, that a young person would have, and the technical skills. There's lots of ways to learn them. On-the-job training. Heck, I've had guys come interview, and I start asking them questions like, "This guy just got a degree from University of YouTube,"
Yeah.
you know, and they didn't have to say that, but it was kind of obvious when I dug just a little bit deeper.
Right.
But as an prospective employer to this young adult, I was like, this guy's got some ambition, so I'm going to figure it out, you know, put his best foot forward. And I appreciated that. I gave the guy a shot, and he's turned out to be great.
Yeah.
You know, that was just like 5 months ago,
Yeah.
so he's still with us.
That's awesome, Jeff. You're right. Fortitude and, you know, potential and communication skills. And if they have some potential with them, then by all means, you know, again, the skills and the technicalities, they're going to learn, and they're going to learn on the job. In our industry, and I'm sure yours as well, there's a lot of online training courses and installation courses of different products for our industry online from all of our manufacturers. So there's resources out there if you really want to learn to be the best at what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I bet you Hunter Doug has probably got a heck of a video series on how to install each one of their particular products.
They actually have an installation certification course too. Very intensive.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. As you've been in your chosen trade for a while, you've really end up with a bachelor's or a doctorate at some point in your particular trade. You've just stretched out that college education and gotten paid to do it during the course of your career instead of paying somebody up front.
Right,
being in
and
debt.
I think it also adds on to you know, kind of being able to sell yourself. You know, you kind of figure out who you are within the trades industry of where you kind of fit in, and figure out how you can sell not just yourself but also the product that you're being a part of within the company. Would you? I mean, Bob. I mean, I've known you for a little bit over maybe about 2 years now,
Yeah.
and everybody that I've spoken to about you is saying that he's the master salesman, and he can sell himself, but imagine him selling something else. you know, but I mean, with the years of experience that you've put into the window coverings and within express blinds, you've obviously seen being able to sell really does help you within the industry, right?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. But with that said and done too, it just didn't come, overnight.
Right.
We actually, when I worked for Hunter Douglas, we actually had to go to sales training courses, of which they'd have us pay half. So we took ownership. Right. They'd pay one half, we'd pay the other half. We'd go to three-day sales boot camps. And it's become a part of who I am today. I owe a lot to it, the success I've achieved through that. As far as, and then I've always been a proponent, product knowledge sells. And even after celebrating almost 40 years here in July in our industry, I still, do weekly webinars, and even as experienced as I am, I learn something new every day, and it's ongoing. That never ends, But yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's what it's about. Like you said, product knowledge sales. It really does help out when you really want to understand how you can excel, kind of grow within the industry. I've experienced that with myself in the entertainment industry. But obviously, trades is a totally different ball game because you're really putting your big foot forward with someone's really prized possessions, houses, your business, renovations. Just trying to make it like a nice little space for everyone to come by together. And like you said, sales. I think for myself, I've really felt that it has helped. Being able to understand who you are, how you can project yourself to someone else. And I think that a lot of generation right now will really benefit from what you just mentioned right now. Yeah.
Absolutely, Danny. And we want to make sure, Danny, the metric system, great DJ. But he brought up a great point about sales. And there's a stigma behind sales too. Salespeople are cheats. They're going to lie or do whatever it takes to get the sale. Sales is a communication style and format. It is not a tool that you use to manipulate people.
Exactly.
The sales education itself is an education in communication styles and tactics. Listen more than you talk. Ask the probing questions of your customer so that you can understand their real needs so you can solve those problems. So Bob, you talked earlier about your sales education early on in the company you used to work for. As a new installer, does an installer's sales skills help them?
It's so crucial. Again, we get a lot of compliments of our installers, and each and every one of them have excellent communication skills. And they also have to do some suggestion, I won't say suggestive selling, but also explain to the customers different options that are available, even after the point of sale. And these guys are really good at it. And of course, it's an ongoing learning process. And these guys have done a fine job. So as far as we don't try to sell somebody, we try to educate them. And our selling philosophy, if you will, for our company is we just give a good, better, best. And we educate the customer, here's the features and benefits each and every product. And ultimately, we let the customer decide which product they want to go with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a communication style that allows them to have the information to make an educated decision.
Right.
So.
And you're doing a good job as far as sales is concerned, even at our level of volume, that 2/3 of our business is coming from past customers and referrals. So they don't, I'm sure 2/3 of our customers didn't feel that they were sold a product or service. They believed in what we offered them and what we installed in their homes or businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to give a little plug for the future right here. So I'm Jeff Mudd, the Millionaire Carpenter writer. And the next two books, next one is on, one of them's quotes. The third book is on sales. And one of the things we're going to dig deep into the sales book is the different styles of communications and how it's used in different industries. So stay tuned for the future for some of these new Millionaire Carpenter series books. I'm sure Bob's going to be excited to jump in and help me with some of his career education on how it's used on that book. Looking forward to meeting with Bob again. Any last thoughts, Danny?
No, absolutely. No, I'm excited to see Bob tomorrow on the golf
Yeah.
over at Carlton Oaks
You better believe it.
Country Club. Again, I'm gonna be seeing him for the PHCC San Diego chapter, Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association, and Academy of San Diego. So he's gonna be representing one of the companies out there, Allegiance Heating and Air. Sarah Wood, such a
Yeah,
wonderful lady.
She's got a credible company.
Incredible company, and it's going to be exciting to see Bob. I haven't had a chance to play golf with Bob, but
You will.
it's going to be a good battle once we
Yes.
get on the field. We'll see.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you both so much. What an exciting series for you guys, a podcast, and look forward to being involved in a one or two in the future. And this was a dynamic thing that you guys do, and I wish all the young people out there nothing but success. There's opportunities out there. There's so many jobs available. Just got to go out there and go search. They're out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, Bob. So what's your last couple of quotes?
Yeah.
You're our best what?
Yeah. Well, Express Blinds and More, the best blind date you'll ever have.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All right. Great episode, guys. Looking forward to meeting everybody soon. Stay tuned.
Awesome.
TheTradesPodcast.com.